Sami! Haruma kick! Sami's done it! Sami's the #1 contender! Sami Zayn will carry the country of Saudi Arabia on his shoulders at the Rumble!
You have had such a meaningful journey when it comes to Saudi Arabia. How does it feel when you get to feel that energy and meet the fans over there?
You know, it's kind of hard to put into words. Getting to meet the fans, I personally love it. It just takes the idea of this abstract thing like the fans. When you get to actually meet them face to face and they tell you about what your journey has meant to them, it just really, really puts things into perspective. And especially in Saudi Arabia, because it's a new market. So now for it to be right there at their doorstep and getting to also meet us and tell us face to face, like, wow, what a big deal it is and how much we believe in you. I don't know, it does something to me. And it is hard to put into words, but it does something to me. And it just gives you a lot of reassurance. At least it does for me anyway.
Well, that's something that means a lot to the fans, but talking about something that means a lot to Sami Zayn, you have been on a quest to finally win a world championship. Now, the champion is Drew McIntyre. Yeah. That is a competitor you have never beaten before, Sami. You are 0-11 against Drew McIntyre in singles matches, and I know you're aware of that. Is the atmosphere at the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia going to be the difference maker this time?
You know, I'm not a big destiny guy or, you know, it's meant to be, or I try to stay away from cliches like that. But the timing of this has been exceptional. You know, once the stuff with the bloodline happened and I kind of really stepped into my own and main eventing WrestleMania, now, you know, it's within arm's reach. So for the last 3 years almost, it's this journey to do this one thing that I haven't done, which is win that WWE Championship. And then there's this other story of Drew McIntyre kind of being my white whale, kind of being my kryptonite, my Achilles heel, this one guy that I can't seem to solve. Just the circumstances are different. I never walked in to Saudi Arabia going one-on-one on Drew. I never walked in fresh off a win in Montreal. I've never walked in with this kind of momentum with Drew. So I do feel like this time's a little different. And that's the part that I have to focus on. And I kind of have to put the blinders on and not think about, you know, the other 11 times.
Well, if we're saying it feels real, let's imagine Sami Zayn gets over the line, becomes WWE champion in Saudi Arabia. How would that compare to all of the other many championship wins you've had throughout your career?
Look, you know, I've been watching WWE since I was a kid. As a kid growing up, you don't feel all that different, but you're being told that you're different. And now to be able to just be here and just be me, and to have that be good enough to perhaps to change stereotypes, change people's perceptions. That was a dream of mine as a kid. You know, it was a dream of my mom's, and I think that's big, to be able to do something like that, you know? A chance to become the champion against this one guy that I've never been able to beat, do the one thing I've never been able to do against the one guy I've never been able to beat, and it's the Royal Rumble, and it's Saudi Arabia. In some ways, it would be more significant than anything I've ever done before, anything I could ever do again. Again, I don't know if I sound crazy here, but this time just feels a little different. So I guess the pressure's on.